This is really easy to get. I got it off Amazon. And what's confusing about it when you purchase is which size. One that is the most versatile is 4.25 millimeters. I would start with this one, but there's also a thicker one, 7.25 millimeters. And this is better if you're doing a large scale project because it's really strong, but it's not great for smaller projects. It's just really difficult to work with. And then armature wire, which is very malleable. You need to get the one that's a 1/16 of an inch wide. And Mia's using hot glue. You need to have needle nose pliers if you're using the wire. It is handy to have a separate wire cutter because there are a couple spots where it's hard to reach what you need to cut if you don't have one of these. The best way to get started is to just make a bunch of circles. Oftentimes it's about making a bunch of shapes and then assembling them together. So you can see here I've got one circle, but I also have this one and this one and this one. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll have two circles, but maybe I'll put them together like this. Okay, so to make a circle, the reed naturally has this bend. I cut it so it's a little bit overlapped like this. So you don't want to do this. That is not going to be structurally sound. And then you cut a piece of wire. You want it to be pretty long. You're going to take the wire and you're going to cross it like this. Like, don't start at the end of the wire because that's really hard to work with. So I put it right in the middle of my wire, wrap it around like this, and then you keep wrapping. And you got to keep the wire really tight. This is all wrapped. Okay, now I have these two little points. The needle nose pliers are very important. I take the needle nose pliers and I just push it down. That little piece of wire that was sticking out, it's wrapped around the reeds. I love wire. I think you're crazy.
No, that's so clean. If I ever tried to make a loop like that, which I have in the past, I just end up stabbing my own hands and screaming.
So this is one of the reasons you might want a wire cutter. This one is pretty good. Like this one, I don't even think I need to trim. It's fine. But sometimes you'll have a bit of reed that sticks out a little too much. And so what I can do is go in with the wire cutter and I can just snip it.
Nice when a material almost gives you a suggestion on what to do with it.
The second shape is a sphere. And this is just two circles that I attached here and also here. Two circles that are fairly similar in size. Cross them like this. So here's your cross. Wrap in the middle of the wire. This is a little tougher. It will feel a little bit unstable for a little while, but that's okay. It'll settle in. You have to crisscross. So I'm going to go under the reed. I'm going to take the same piece. I'm going to wrap it the other way. You just keep wrapping in various directions. You go in with the other piece of wire and you're going to wrap that around. You have these little ends up here of the wire that are sticking out. So again, I'm going to take my needle nose pliers. The key to wire, you have to wrap it tight. If you're a little loose about it, it's not going to be very strong. So right now, that's pretty strong. And once I do the other side, it's going to get even stronger. So the next step with the sphere is I'll make another circle and I'll put the circle on top. So I have one piece that goes across. I could probably put another one going across here and then another one down here. And you can keep going. This is just 4 pieces of reed that are attached at the edge. There's a little ring that holds them together. This is 4 pieces of reed and they're all cut to the same length. Sometimes if you want to test something, you can just wrap blue tape around it really fast. This is the point where I'm going to wrap wire around these 4 ends. Same thing, wrap from the middle and try to bunch them together. You don't want them in a row because they're not going to be as strong if you put them in a row. Wrap the wire. I'm going to pinch this so I don't have the end of the wire sticking out. I don't like that these are not the same length, so that's where you can just go in and trim it. It's the same concept as when I did the sphere. Start at the top and pull this down. The sphere contacts each of the 4 reed pieces. Putting the sphere on this round cone, it's tough. The first one, stuff is like slipping and it's not that easy, but once you get 2 in place, it starts to feel a little better. One little fix you can do with the reed, which is really handy, is if you wrap one section, like this little cross I wrapped, and you discover, oh, it's a little bit too far to the left, because there's no glue involved, you can just take it and just pull it. This used to be a little bit more over to the right. I just pulled it to the left.